Hello there, people of the internet. So today I'm out here with my Mosin Nagant 9130. This is my first one, the one I did not spend a lot of money on. And I got it not that long ago. I think I paid like 80 bucks for this thing. Probably like 100 with shipping and whatnot. So not a lot of money invested into this rifle. But as pretty much anyone in the gun community knows, the price of Mosins have absolutely skyrocketed over the past couple of years, and it is very, very disappointing to see just how much they have climbed in value. I miss the days back whenever you could get like a crate of Mosins for like, that's a spider, a crate of Mosins for not much money at all. You there, get out of here. Go somewhere else, I'm making a video. This is a bad spot for you. There you go over there, that's fine. People hammer me for getting rid of the spiders in this video. Do you want me to leave him there so he can die from the concussive blast of my Mosin Nagant? Or do you want me to move him over there where, you know, he'll be nice and safe? Anyway, with the price of Mosin Nagants absolutely skyrocketing, a lot of people have been asking me if I think that they're still worth it. Now, I guess in terms of what it is that you're going to use it for would determine whether or not the Mosin Nagant would be worth it. Normally, a Mosin Nagant, you know, you can find it around 350 bucks nowadays, maybe 400. If you're finding the base model round receiver, Ishvesk or Tula, if you want anything fancy, it's going to cost you a bit more money because those are deemed collectibles. But lower end Mosins run about 350 bucks. Now, what do you want the Mosin for? If you want a Mosin specifically just to have a Mosin Nagant, then hey, by all means go for it. The ammunition is cheap and readily available, even in comparison to the old days. 54 rimmed, since it's still a military cartridge, is still quite a deal cheaper than a good number of the other full power rifle cartridges out there. Ooh, I got the hiccups, I apologize. And since you could load it by stripper clips, it definitely means that you got yourself a faster loading rifle. If you get yourself a Mauser, I recommend getting one chambered in .308 if you want to use it as a shooter. Otherwise, 8mm is going to cost you a pretty penny. Same thing goes with the Enfield rifles, especially right now. .303 is quite expensive. So if you want a full power rifle that you can take out to the range and blast brass with for not a lot of money, the Mosin is a good choice. I got this cat walking up on me, and boy, it's going to regret coming out here whenever I start firing. But if you're going to get a Mosin specifically for home defense, I would not recommend that. The Mosin Nagant at 350 bucks, you can get yourself, you know, a pump action shotgun and quite a bit of shotgun shells for that price versus just, you know, a full power rifle Mosin Nagant. You definitely don't want to do that. If you wanted to get a Mosin specifically for hunting purposes, that 350 bucks will get you a whole lot of modern rifles that are already drilled and tapped for scopes. So, not necessarily the best of options there too. I'd say the Mosin Nagant is worth it specifically if you want a Mosin Nagant. Now, if you are like me and you're a military surplus collector, it isn't a necessity for every collection. But if you are wanting a Mosin Nagant specifically for some sort of practical application, I would not recommend it, considering the other options that you have out there for pretty much around the same price. Now, back in the day, you could get a crate of Mosin Nagants and you could arm yourself a small militia with these rifles, and since they feed from stripper clips, you could have yourself quite a deal of firepower for not a lot of money. But at 350 bucks, you know, whenever you can find them at that price, most of the time you're going to find them around 450. They can be found for 350, but most of the time they're going to be found for around 450. Especially on sites like Gunbroker and like auction sites and things like that. Then you got to win them at auctions. Sometimes you get a fair price on them, but for the most part, not really. They're definitely not the budget blaster that they used to be. At that price, you're better off arming yourself with semi-automatic rifles. Hell, for the AR-15, especially on the used market, You can find yourself some half-decent Andersons for around 450 bucks as well. That would provide way better firepower than a Mosin ever would. Or you could arm yourself with a bunch of pump-action shotguns. That would be a good way to go. I'd say that's probably the best budget blaster out there right now. There's a whole surplus of budget 12-gauge shotguns out there that I think that right there would be like the budget firearm right now. Or you could get yourself, you know, several of those high-point carbines, which are actually quite nice, relatively reliable, and not a lot of money. Ah, god damn it, cat, don't go out there. Okay, cat's gone. Nice, nice and safe now. Okay, let's see, where was I? At the price that you'd spend on the Mosins, especially if you want to get one that has any sort of accessories, you're definitely better off getting some semi-automatic rifles. If your goal is to arm yourself or a group of people for defensive purposes. If you want to use the Mosin for hunting, I mean, there are worse rifles out there, but there's definitely better options, modern production options out there. Now, if you want a Mosin, and you decide to get a Mosin, that 350 bucks is going to get you a rifle that is going to outlast you pretty much guaranteed. Like, unless you really put it through its paces, it's going to outlast you. Most of these rifles have outlast, you know, our grandparents, and I mean, most of them, hell, there's ones, original 1891 models that are still out there, still around, and still functional. Whenever you get yourself these old school military surplus rifles, you know that you're getting something that is going to last for a long, long, long time. So that is one thing that I will say. These rifles definitely have longevity to them. Okay, well, speaking of Mosin Nagant, I'm going to go ahead and fire off a couple of rounds here. I have 4 rounds in this rifle, and I have a stripper clip loaded in my pocket. Yep, there it is. And I have my steel silhouette standing up down there, probably going to fall down, so I'll probably have to go out there and put it back up. So I think the big takeaway from this very opinionated video is the Mosin Nagant is not worth the money if you don't want specifically a Mosin Nagant. Because there are plenty of other very, very good options out there for less money if you're looking to use a rifle for practical purposes. But if you want specifically a Mosin Nagant chambered in 7.62 by 54 rimmed, 350 bucks, you should be able to find yourself one. Hell, 300 bucks if you find yourself a sporterized one. I recommend going with a non-sporterized one though, just because if you want a Mosin, odds are you want it for the historical importance. Now, if that's the case, and you do decide to go with a sporterized one, you can always unsporterize it, but that's entirely up to you. Now, I'm just going to go ahead, send some lead at the steel silhouette down there. Well, I hit it, and it's still standing. I got a bunch of crap out there, kind of holding the steel silhouette up, so hopefully it lasts. Well, it's still standing. That's a good sign. Holy crap, I was convinced it would have fallen by now. Now the Mosin, despite the fact that there are better applications out there, is one of my favorite range blasters. If you do a lot of range shooting like I do, I mean, hell, look at my car down there. I do a lot of range shooting. If you do a lot of range shooting, then 54 rimmed is not a bad way to go, because it's still being made, still being surplused, and it's not overly expensive for a full power cartridge. Most of your full power cartridges out there are going to run roughly $1 a round. 308, sometimes it is cheaper than that, but it's still more expensive than the 54 rimmed. 308 typically runs around 60 cents a round versus the 54 rimmed, which runs, I can find it probably about 40 cents a round, 35 if I buy it in bulk. And I typically always buy my 54 rimmed in bulk. Okay. Let's see how long that thing decides to stand there. He's still standing there. I hit the crap that I'm using to hold up the thing. I probably shouldn't hit that too much. I like the way that I hit it. Ah, it fell down. Oh well. Let's go for Let's go for the fan that's sitting on the car. Well, I see the fan smoking, so I hit it, but it didn't do very much. I like this refurbished Mosin because it's nice and smooth, and I can like really shoot it very quickly. All right, well, folks, I guess whether or not the Mosin is worth it is really up to you. I don't have much of a definite answer. In my opinion, I'd say yes, it's still worth it if you want a Mosin, but if you are just looking for any rifle, there's better options out there for the money that you'd spend on the Mosin. I really do miss the days where you could pick these up for dirt cheap. I miss, not necessarily the rifles, I miss the days where you could buy like those spam cans of ammo for not a lot of money. Nowadays, people want so much for the corrosive surplus ammo, just because it's collectible at this point, that you could actually get non-corrosive, modern production ammo for cheaper than the corrosive surplus. So I don't know what the hell's going on with them, but that's just the situation that we're dealing with. All right, well, let me know what y'all's thoughts are down below. Y'all typically have no problems letting me know what y'all are thinking. Of course, this video was an excuse for me to come out and fire my Mosin. I got a bunch of these are just the cheap stripper clips that you can get for the Mosin. I'm sure that they're Chinese made, but they do have a little T on them. So I don't think that these are actually made in the Tula factory. They might be. If they are, I am very disappointed. I'd like to get my hands on some of the actual good Mosin Nagant stripper clips, but those are harder to find. But these ones right here, I mean, they work all right-ish. They work for the range, but yeah, they work good enough, I guess. It still would be nice to have the luxury of having, you know, actual ones though. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more. I do this stuff all the time, as you can see from my car out there. If you like the video, that helps out a lot. In the description, you're gonna find a boatload of links to all sorts of stuff. That being said, I have dinner waiting for me. So I'm gonna go grab me a bite to eat. It's getting dark. Ooh, a flock of doves. They're lucky I don't have my shotgun out here. I don't think I could hit them with the Mosin. I don't think I have any ammo to even try, do I? Let's see, keys, phone, stripper clips, nope, no ammo for the Mosin. Oh well, there wouldn't be much of that dove left after it gets hit with a 54 rimmed. Anyway, folks, once again at the end of my video I'm rambling, so I'm just gonna say, hey, thanks for watching. Y'all go off, have a fantastic day. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. Shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.